Hi, everybody. Welcome to WCA Extra. We're starting a few minutes late today, but really wanted to dive into some of the flood coverage that we've done the past couple days. Now, we had team coverage this morning. There's Sophia Thomas and Cam Smith out in some of those flood affected communities. Cam is actually still out there this morning. Cam is in Moortown, and Cam, first of all, thanks for being here, and kind of tell me, you've been at the same scene for a few hours now, since about 5 a.m. What's changed there in the hours that you've been there?
Yeah, John, it's certainly clear that folks and these crews out here are moving very quickly. They told me a little bit earlier that the bridge behind me here that connects 100B to Vermont Route 100 North completely washed out during the storm the last couple of days. The Mad River really rising and wiping that bridge completely out. But they did tell me that they're hoping to have a temporary 80-foot bridge in by Monday. So they are working quickly. They're up against the clock here. As you can sort of see off of my right shoulder, you can see the crews and the excavators starting to dig at some of that rubble, pull out some of the giant rocks and the concrete and stuff like that, just to sort of level it out. And then I guess the plan is to go from that side. They'll have to go all the way out and around and come back to where we're standing now to then work on this side. So lots of work to do. We're told that the crews are going to be working around the clock to get this bridge back open.
Definitely some good news there. And Cam, we had some trouble getting into that area yesterday, and even you yourself this morning, getting around all these closed roads, and what's that looking like now? Not maybe just in this specific spot, but really just getting into Moortown and in general there.
Yeah, I think there's certainly still some closed roads that are going to impact travel. I went over on Route 100 North on the other side, almost into Duxbury. There was another bridge washout there just down the road from Harwood Union High School. So certainly still some travel impacts. Folks have been sort of taking side roads and sort of making their way through. When we came straight down the interstate off into Middlesex and then up into Moortown that way. The main drag in in Moortown is open. Not many impacts in the main drag of town, but as you start to get sort of on the outskirts of town, as you head towards more of the Mad River Valley, there's certainly a lot of impacts, a lot of roads closed, and a lot of things that folks are going to have to deal with over the next couple of days as these crews are out here working as fast as they can to get these roads back open and make sure they're safe for folks to drive on.
Absolutely, Cam. And I know you've been at this specific site for a little bit now this morning, and you ventured out a little bit. As far as just a lot of the damage that is looking at, water damage other than the road here, of course, what's that looking like? Is there a lot of that mud and silts all over the place, or what's it look like down there?
Not nearly as much as where I've seen, as much as I've seen around here. There's a lot of dirt roads, a lot of those side roads, dirt driveways, a lot of those culverts on the side of the road that are sort of exposed. So definitely a lot of water damage. You can see sort of off the field to my right where the water actually kind of rolled through. So there's still some impacts there, and obviously chunks of road missing, bigger potholes on some of those dirt roads. So the impacts are clear.
Yeah, thank you, Cam. I know you have quite the busy day ahead of you, so I'll let you go. But thank you for the update, especially from this morning. Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And one last thing we'll leave us with is from what folks were saying and these crews were saying is these roads closed signs are there for a reason. They might be out a little bit further away than where the actual impacts are, but they're telling folks to heed those warnings. Don't drive through them. If you see them, turn around, go a different way, just to let the crews have the space to work. And also because of all the water that came through, you don't necessarily know how stable the road is, if it could give way under your car by the weight of your car. So definitely want to heed the warnings, pay attention to the signs, and take your time going where you need to go.
Absolutely, Cam. All good tips there, of course. We all people to stay safe in the next few days, especially
absolutely
this recovery. Cam Smith, thanks so much.
You got it.
That was our Cam Smith again in Moortown, kind of seeing some of the damage there from the last few days as well. And I just want to make note of something really quick as well. Coming up in just about a half hour, Governor Scott is going to address the public in a press conference that will be live on Channel 3 at 10 a.m. You can tune in then. We'll have full coverage of the presser and then a little bit of a recap afterwards to see, what him and some of the state officials are saying as we start to clean up from these floods. But with that in mind, we now have meteorologist Peter Kavakauskas here. And Peter, a lot of this wild weather has calmed down, and now we're moving into another kind of a bout of some warmer weather.
Yep.
And this comes at a time where a lot of people are picking up.
Yeah, that is very true. One thing that we are still keeping an eye on for some cases is the river flooding out there. There is some good news though this morning. As a matter of fact, the Passumpsic River that wreaked all that damage in St. Johnsbury as well as Linden, that just fell out of minor flood stage. So we'll take a look at that. You can see now out of flood stage there. The one river that we are still really keeping an eye on is the Lamoille River at Jeffersonville. You can see that still in moderate flood stage. The Winooski River at Essex Junction, that's falling in minor flood stage. The Barton River at Coventry, falling is also in minor flood stage. And the Connecticut River at Wells River, cresting in minor flood stage right now. The good news is pretty quiet weather here to kick things off on this Friday morning. Here's the view on satellite radar. Not a whole lot to talk about out there. A few clouds, maybe a few passing showers here and there, but really for the most part, most of us are primarily dry here as we start off on this Friday morning. Here's the view from the Burlington waterfront. Rather gray and cloudy out there right now. 74 degrees, winds calm, pressure sitting at 30.14 inches and on the rise. 60s and 70s out there right now. Again, shaping up to be a rather warm and muggy day out there. Most of us will climb back into the 80s, and some places, especially the further south you go, could make it to that 90-degree mark. So here's how it shapes up on Futurecast. Again, still the chance at a few passing rain showers here and there, but most of us stay primarily dry as we head through the course of your day today. I will note, however, we start to get in a few more breaks of sunshine as we head through the afternoon and evening hours, and what we're seeing right now. Heading into your day tomorrow, I think there is the chance that maybe a few passing showers and thunderstorms, especially across the southern half of the region as we head through the course of the night tonight. Heading into your day on Saturday, I think we actually get a bit more sunshine going than what we see today. But I will also mention the chance that a few showers, a few thunderstorms bubbling up here and there through the course of the afternoon and evening hours for your day on Saturday. As we head into the day on Sunday, really uneventful, basically wall-to-wall sunshine, a few fair weather clouds mixing in here and there through the course of the day on Sunday, but temperatures, they are warming up. Before we get there, though, I did want to quickly point this out. In terms of additional rainfall here as we head through the course of the day today and tomorrow, we're really not talking all that much. Might as well say most of us really not going to see much of anything. Where some places see a quick shower or downpour bubble up, they could possibly quickly produce upwards of a half an inch here as we head through the next, say, 24 to 48 hours. Temperature-wise, as we head through the next several days, we are climbing back into the upper 80s and lower 90s here. By the time Sunday roll around, we gradually get a bit more comfortable, though, as we head towards the start of next week. Take a look at Wednesday, back down into the upper 70s and lower 80s, and that's also when the dew points start to drop a little bit, so the humidity gets a bit more comfortable. For now and right into the weekend and the start of next week, you notice those dew points basically hovering in the 60s and lower 70s. So yeah, that's a bit humid, a bit sticky, and we've been kind of dealing with that sticky weather here for a while now. Finally getting a bit more comfortable here as we head towards the middle and end of next week. So your forecast here through the rest of the day today. We'll talk daytime highs, generally in the upper 70s and 80s here for most of us. Some across the far southern portions of the area could make a run towards that 90-degree mark tonight. Overnight lows in the 60s and 70s. We'll generally call it partly cloudy skies overhead for the night tonight. And heading into your day tomorrow, daytime highs again in the mid to upper 80s and lower 90s off to the south. What I will say is we probably see a bit more sunshine than what we see today, but also the chance at a few showers and thunderstorms kind of bubbling up here and there through the course of the afternoon and evening hours for your day on Saturday. Now look at that 7-day forecast. Sunday, the warm day, back into the upper 80s and lower 90s. As we head towards the start of next week, still rather warm here for the day on Monday. The chance at a few showers and thunderstorms here and there each and every afternoon for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Finally, as we head towards the middle and end of next week, we start to get in on a bit more comfortable air. Temperatures in the upper 70s and lower 80s, and those dew points dropping to more comfortable levels here as well. But for now, as we head into the upcoming weekend here, we're going to talk about that heat and humidity. One thing I do want to mention is just the fact that, we're dealing with this heat.
Yeah.
If you want to cool off the rivers, the tributaries, not the place to do it here this weekend. We're just talking about them running so quickly still, a lot of debris in them still, so want to keep that in mind here.
Absolutely, Peter. And I think a good point from the press conference yesterday as well, Vermont Emergency Management saying, something to be really aware of, and I think a lot of people can gloss over, is really be aware of that heat when you start that cleanup effort. I think a lot of times people will put on a brave face and they'll try to push themselves a little bit more. And, this is kind of the last thing you want to do is to get hurt or sick in an instance like this. So
That's very true.
Always be kind of aware of your abilities in the heat like that. So, but and to your point too, I was down at the Winooski River yesterday.
Yeah, just raging.
And like you said, the tons of debris, everything coming out. So kind of avoid those rivers, waterways, etc. that are really active at this point. But yeah, with that in mind, we will be back on the air at 10 o'clock for Governor Phil Scott's press conference. Again, kind of addressing some of those recovery efforts. That will be on Channel 3 at 10. And then also Peter and I will be back at noon for more flood coverage and the like as far as the next few days. Yeah. Thank you, Peter. And like I said, we'll see you in just about a half hour on WCAX.